and welcome to another exciting edition of Trendz Travel. I'm your host for today, ELOISE, SCOBLE, right here at the Zoo Lake in Johannesburg, where the sun is out. It is summertime, the kids are excited, the ducks are hungry, and boy do we have a lineup for you. We start up taking a tour in the northern side of the Kruger National Park.
Coming up next on Trendz Travel today, we visit the Kruger National Park. Jailed for fun in Bangkok. Zimbabwe hosts a colorful festival. And finally, bugs are on the menu in New York. All this and so much more on Trendz Travel this week. Lying in the heart of the Lowveld is a wildlife sanctuary like no other. Its atmosphere so unique that it allows those who enter its vastness to immerse themselves in the unpredictability and endless wilderness that is the true quality of Africa. The Kruger National Park lies across the provinces of Mpumalanga and Limpopo in the north of South Africa, just south of Zimbabwe and west of Mozambique. On the banks of the Pioneer Dam in the Kruger National Park lies its best-kept secret, the Mopani Camp.
After a long 7-hour drive, we've finally arrived in Mopani Rest Camp in the Kruger National Park. Well, I am hoping for a tranquil stay and maybe a little bit of four-legged excitement.
Named after the Mopani veld that surrounds the camp, Mopani Rest Camp nestles among the Mopani tree-covered koppies. Here you'll find only self-catering bungalows. These feel more like houses than chalets, as they have a more elongated shape that they're generally bigger than round chalets of other Kruger camps. Made out of stone and covered with thatch, the bungalows sleep either 4 or 6 people, which makes it perfect for a family getaway. It is one of the largest camps in the north, yet it doesn't feel this way at all. The bungalows are positioned with lots of vegetation in between, so the bush hasn't been compromised as much in the construction process. This creates the sense of being constantly surrounded by nature. The intimate feel of the camp is further enhanced by the fact that Mopani has 2 satellite camps, thereby dispersing the guests and giving everyone their own little spot in the veld. The vegetation in this camp is left as found in the wild, adding to its unique atmosphere. You get to enjoy a gaming experience without even leaving. After a long day in the sun, you can unwind by the poolside. Following a relaxed, quiet evening with only the sound of wild animals, we were ready to take on a day 2 in the wild. In the northern side of the Kruger Park is where you would find the most elephants. Unfortunately, these majestic animals are living in danger.
And we have to open the carcass.
It is day 2 of our excursion in the Kruger National Park. Unfortunately, as we all know, animal poaching is one of our biggest problems. Behind me is an elephant carcass that was shot 2 to 3 weeks ago. The investigation is currently underway. Let's see what happens.
Game rangers, together with the National Defence Force, work tirelessly to catch the perpetrators.
We are in the Vlakteplaas section of the Kruger National Park, which is in the far north. And here, the crime scene behind us, this animal has been dead for 2 weeks. It was found 4 days after it had been shot, and the rangers only saw vulture activity, and that's how they knew that there was an animal down. And when they came here, it didn't have its face and the tusks had been taken. They backtracked and found that the poachers had crossed into Mozambique. That is where most of our problems are coming from when it comes to elephant poaching in this part of the Kruger National Park. This year alone, we've seen 30 animals having been killed in this manner, and their tusks being taken. In some instances, we've been successful to recover the tusks and also to make some arrests.
It is day 3 in the Kruger National Park. Yesterday we saw a poached elephant. Today the rangers and the soldiers are going to give us a mock demonstration of what happens in the field.
This is the demonstration on what happened in a real situation when we do the joint operation together with other forces like SANDF and the police when we apprehend the poachers. Basically, what was happening there is there was a group of poachers that were sighted by the BFS. BFS is another group of SNDF members. They normally do the civilians. The BFS stand for battlefield civilians. So they normally find the higher ground, they sit on top of the high ground where you saw them sitting up there. So when they detect any movement of the suspected poachers here, then they'll quickly send the message to the ground teams that they seeing a group of poachers. They'll describe the poachers, what type of clothing they're wearing, the number of the people and the direction where they're moving, and they'll give the GPS coordinate of the area where they're seeing them. Then the ground team will start to follow up on that GPS coordinate. Normally they will be coming in, there will be the rangers on their normal patrol. They will be coming in, checking on the ground, looking for the spores of any type of incursion. The moment when they pick up the spore, then they'll call for the reaction team, depending on how fresh is the spore. When they take the spore, then find out the spore is fresh, these people could be about 10 to 15 minutes away from them. The situation that happened here, they were still busy looking at the spore, and the poachers were very close to them because there was an aircraft on air, flying on air. That aircraft suppressed them, they make them to hide. So they know that if they start running, the people on air will be able to see them. So they hide. While they're hiding there, they saw the poachers see the rangers coming in with the dog. That's why you had the first shot going on from the suspect to the rangers. That's why you see the guy with the dog pull the dog back, and the guys who were guarding him behind go forward now to challenge the poachers. That's why you hear the contact, the shootout between the poachers and the rangers. The moment when they start running, they could see that those guys have no longer firearm in their hands. That's why you see them, they stop firing. Because they see that they're just guys who are running with nothing in their hands. They even see one of them dropping the firearm down. So they now release the canine, the dog, to quickly assist them in apprehending them. While the guys on top there, they are still talking to them, giving them information of the direction or where they are running. That's why you find those other two were apprehended there by the team that we call the stopper groups. They are being given direction by the guys on top of the mountain there, the BFS, the direction of where these guys are running, so they will position themselves proper to quickly apprehend them.
Life in the wild is not easy. The perpetrators are caught and arrested. And to speed up the wheels of justice, the South African Police Services has an in-house court in Skukuza where all the legal matters are dealt with. The world-renowned Kruger Park offers a wildlife experience that ranks the best in Africa. After all that action, we got treated to a game drive like no other. Established in 1898 to protect the wildlife of the South African lowveld, this national park of nearly 2 million hectares is unrivaled in the diversity of its life forms and a world leader in advanced environmental management techniques and policies. One of the camps in the Kruger, Shingwedzi, offers an incredible game viewing experience on its terrace, which you can enjoy over a scrumptious meal. An exciting time to see all the animals is when the sun sets and all come to the watering spot. But of course, there's always the hippos and the crocs that just chill all day by the river.
We've known each other for a very long time.
I can never leave a place without a souvenir, and the shops in the Kruger have practical items for the wildlife experience and to take home.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
The African wild dog is the most endangered carnivore in southern Africa. Kruger National Park in South Africa is one of the last remaining areas where a substantial population of wild dogs can be found. This makes the Kruger population invaluable in the conservation of the species. We spoke to a specialist in this field.
The initiative is about reintroducing wild dogs in northern Kruger. So Shingwedzi is part of the north of the Kruger. And there's been a huge decline in the population, so much that there is a gap now. So we've got wild dogs down in the south of Kruger. We used to have wild dogs in the north, but something has happened that the population has declined. Numbers speaks about going down from 160 individuals down to 10 individuals in 20 years. So this is why we've decided now to repopulate the north of Kruger with that pack. And also there's been genetic studies working on the wild dogs in Zimbabwe, which is just north of Kruger, and the wild dogs in southern Kruger. And they realized that there is no gene flow anymore between the two. So the idea of putting a new pack in northern Kruger is to recreate that gene flow. So the day we're going to release them, they will be very closely monitored every day on a daily basis. And we want to know exactly where they go, how they use the habitat, and what's happening to every single individual. So if one dies, we want to understand what was the reason. Was it a disease? Did he get killed by a lion? Or was it starvation because there is not enough prey? So there is a huge question mark that we actually want to answer with that project. And I've always been very fascinated about wild dogs because the way they behave. They behave like wolves. They live in a pack. They're highly sociable, so they rely on each other. And there is still so much that we need to understand about them. So we don't know, especially with that pack formation thing. We put wild dogs together, we do everything the right way, and then suddenly we realize that they actually don't like each other. And when you release them, they want to split from each other. So that's why I put so much effort now to try to understand and to observe and to see and to record. I think the very important thing is to record for the next people to know from our experiment. And so just getting more data on the most endangered large carnivore of South Africa. It's a labor of love.
Now you know you're a pampered pup when you're taken to a doggy beach bar. Right now we're taking a short break as I continue to enjoy the summer outside. Feeding the ducks here at the zoo lake is quite a mission because often they can actually attack you. While getting back to the show right now, we take you all the way to Bangkok for a prison-themed hotel.
With its narrow rooms, metal bars and bunk beds, Bangkok's first prison-themed hotel promises the look and feel of a real jail in the bustling Thai capital. At Suk Station Hotel in Bangkok's Udom Suk neighborhood, guests are offered pinstriped pajamas for 700 baht and a wall with a height chart where they can have their mugshot taken. The hotel's design includes black outdoors and windows to create the feeling of being in solitary confinement, and to keep in line with the theme, there is also lights out and a curfew. The hotel is the first foray into the hospitality industry for husband and wife duo who were partly inspired by the 1994 prison escape film The Shawshank Redemption, starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, along with their love of travel.
แล้วเราจินตนาการไม่ได้ว่าในคุกมันจะเป็นยังไงที่แท้จริงเพราะเราก็ไม่อยากไปสัมผัสหรอกค่ะ แต่ว่าตรงนี้มันได้สัมผัสส่วนหนึ่งเช่นเสียงของประตูเสียงของเหล็กสภาพของสนิมของที่มันดูแล้วเหมือนไม่สวยงามแต่เรากลับกลายเป็นว่ามันสะอาดเฮ้ยมันอยู่สบายแอร์ก็เย็นๆมันคงไม่ใช่คุกแน่
The room is not as spacious. The bunk beds are not normal, and the lighting as well. You don't get the same lighting, and at night when we close all the lights, definitely you get that feeling that you're in a cell.
They had originally intended to target one-time customers, but to our surprise, some of them came back and have come back as regular customers, Sachai told us. Travelers chose to stay at the prison-themed hotel to get a taste of experiencing being an inmate.
Go, ตอนแรกเราเข้าใจว่าเราทำแปลกๆแบบนี้มันก็จะมีแขกที่แบบมาครั้งเดียวแล้วก็ชอบความแปลกใหม่แล้วก็ไปหาความแปลกใหม่ที่อื่นแต่ปรากฏว่ามีกลับมาซ้ำนะครับเขากลับมาซ้ำแล้วก็มาพักกับเราเป็นประจำเราก็ประหลาดใจเหมือนกันแต่ว่า
I feel the real prison because when I arrived, it's dark, and I never seen the place look for real.
Originally designed to attract backpackers, the hotel has welcomed half Thai and half foreigners since their official opening in April, with room rates ranging from 790 to 1,630 baht per night.
Croatia's only beach bar catering for dogs staged a race in Adriatic for owners and four-legged friends. Happy canines and their proud humans can each get a sunbed and take a dive in the blue sea at the Monty's Dog Beach Bar. 15 owners and their dogs took part in the competition, running down the pier and jumping into the water and swimming about 100 meters to the shore. The fastest four-legged athlete of the day was Nimbus, a 4-year-old mixed breed Samoyed. Who finished the course along with his dog in a few minutes, winning a 7-kilogram bag of dog food and a weekend at the local hotel.
We didn't prepare. We swim in the summer a little bit, but this is natural swimmer. When I jump in the water, they come with me and they follow me, and this is why we win, because they follow me. This is crazy for me, and if I run, they run for me, they swim. It's a very good swimmer.
Well, I actually got the idea from one of our guests at the dog beach, and since we love doing anything in relation to dogs, her idea was to have a race around our beach, and I thought the idea was perfect. We had 15 people apply. We expected more, but unfortunately there's such a strong wind that we're so lucky that even these 15 turned up, because they had to be really brave.
Furry pets who were more into eating than running competed in eating contests in which they tugged into specially made ice cream, cakes and beer.
Evo Marina, stigli su nam ovdje joj da barem imamo postolje, sad bi mogli se na prvo postolje popest. Dobili su nagradu noćenja.
Discs of dried cow dung flew through the air at Wisconsin's annual cow chip throw in Prairie du Sac on Saturday, as contestants, young and old, competed for the top prize.
Some people are really grossed out by the idea of throwing cow chips, but some people take it really seriously. Some people dress up, and there is a best dressed award that goes out. Some people even lick their fingers to get better traction on the chip when they throw it.
The chips come from cows at a local farm, where they are laid out in the sun for about a month in advance. The most durable chips are stored and reused. This year, the competition, now in its 43rd year, attracted contestants from around the United States and as far afield as the Netherlands and Portugal.
We thought it was pretty funny. It's just one of those things that just no one else is doing it, so let's go do something that's weird, you know.
Bride-to-be Mandy Moore from Los Angeles even chose the attraction as part of her bachelorette festivities. While she and her bridal party were not particularly successful at throwing the chips far, they earned a lot of recognition for their creative cow-themed outfits.
They're actually beef cattle that we get them from, but they're all pasture fed. So it's all grasses they eat, and you need that for the high fiber to make the thicker, denser chip. So those are the best chips. And we usually pick them up about a month before our festival, put them on a wagon. They go in a barn at night, come out in the sun during the day, and they get flipped periodically during the month to cure them and have them ready for our festival.
So, a lot of history in this park. A lot of other upgrades that the Cow Chip Committee has done over the years here at...
We are actually here for Mandy's bachelorette. She's getting married in a couple months, so we decided to have a trip, and she actually planned all of this. She did a lot of research on Wisconsin. We're actually staying in Madison, so that and the surrounding areas, and she found out about this, and we're gonna throw some cow chips. Yeah.
From Slinger, Wisconsin, Jill Walslinger.
Contest rules stipulate that the cow chips must be at least 6 inches in diameter to qualify. If a chip breaks mid-throw, the piece that flew the furthest is the one that is counted.
I walked the field a little bit. We got here a little bit early, walked up and down the field. I've been doing a bunch of shoulder stretches, trying to get loosened up, get back to the old Little League days of throwing baseballs.
No gloves are allowed. But contestants may lick their fingers to get a better grip, according to the festival website. The state record is currently 248 feet, which is 76 meters.
From Clover, Wisconsin, Paul Deruska.
Welcome back to Trendz Travel, and right now it is a very nice warm summer's day at the Johannesburg Zoo Lake. And speaking of hot and warm things, we take you all the way to Harare, where they celebrate an international festival.
Thousands of people flocked the streets in Zimbabwe's capital to celebrate this year's Harare International Carnival. The 10-day festival has become a popular event in the city, where revelers get to display their elaborate costumes, masquerades and dance skills in a colorful extravaganza. Now, in its 5th year, the parade also provides a forum for entrepreneurs to promote their businesses, providing various services for festival visitors.
If people are facing challenges like we are saying, they also need to be happy. And why should we punish our people, not giving them an opportunity of happiness like what we've done? We need people to forget about the challenges that they're facing every day. People must not be preoccupied every day, day in, day out, with the economic challenges.
Zimbabwe's economy has been hobbled by foreign currency shortages and widening budget deficits in recent years. As a result, Zimbabweans are facing tough times and have been unable to withdraw money from banks, with many spending long hours in queues for as little as $20. In the midst of all these challenges, the event organized by the country's tourism authority is working to help achieving high gross national happiness for Zimbabweans by 2020. Organizers say the turnout this year was encouraging and reflects the need for similar events that offer distraction and some fun in a country facing challenging times.
Carnival. And it's good for us to get my cultures some like taona mageuzi ku Brazil, taona vanenge vachita sei zvavanota Brazil, taona veku India, taona zvavanenge vachita futi ku India. So it's good to get chiziva my cultures and zvinogona kuzobatsira some of the times.
I'm excited to be part of this year. And my kids, especially, I came here for my kids. They've grown up and they wanted to experience this, and we're still waiting for more participants coming. So I think we're going to be here the whole day.
Various local and foreign artists held concerts during the festival, which also included street parties. This year, participating countries included Nigeria, Kenya, Brazil, Japan, Indonesia, Jamaica and Angola, amongst many others. Belgium paid tribute to its comic strip heroes with a balloons parade that kicked off outside Brussels' Royal Palace. The tone of the parade was not chauvinistic, with Belgian comic characters Lucky Luke, Bol and Spirou being joined in by other children's favorites such as Star Wars robot BB-8, Blue from the US animated film Rio, and penguins from Penguins of Madagascar. With this parade, Brussels seeks to promote its proud comic heritage, which gave us Tintin and the Smurfs, amongst many others.
C'est formidable, c'est vraiment extraordinaire pour les enfants. Ils adorent, il y a Lucky Luke, il y a plein de personnages de bande dessinée et les enfants regardent ça avec passion, ils adorent.
Et franchement, c'est nickel. Franchement, impec. À refaire, vivement l'année prochaine.
On ne doit pas céder à la terreur. Et je crois que on voit les gens ici, je ne crois pas que les gens ont peur. Nous sommes très très rassurés. Les mesures de sécurité ont été prises. Il y a des blocs de béton, des policiers, tout ce que vous voulez. Aucun souci.
The parade was part of a series of events celebrating what they called the ninth art, coming down the list after poetry, cinema and television respectively. The center of Brussels was packed with onlookers and tourists as the balloon figures entered the narrow streets of the city center. The parade took place under heavy police surveillance, 2 months after a Moroccan national attempted an attack on the city's central station by trying to detonate a suitcase bomb packed with nails and gas balloons. But everyone was in high spirits and didn't seem to mind the possible threats, and many were sure they'd be back again next year. Perched on top of Rwanda's famous rolling hills, hundreds of spectators lined up over the weekend to witness the Mountain Gorilla Rally, one of the toughest rally challenges in Africa. The grueling 280-kilometer race covered the capital Kigali and eastern provinces and attracted 19 drivers from various countries, including Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, and Burundi. The Mountain Gorilla Rally is the second last round of the 8-event FIA African Rally Championship Series.
Things are going on well, but the problem is there's so many cars that are using two-wheel drive other than four-wheel drive. And about time, I think the elapse is really taking long. We wait for about 5 to 10 minutes, which is really not fun. Otherwise, the first round of four-wheel drive cars were really nice.
Parmi les joueurs, le Ugandera qui joue au Skoda, il est très apprécié. Il passe très vite la route.
Organizers say the rally has one of the most challenging routes because of the mountainous terrain drivers encounter. Out of the 19 cars that began the race on Friday, only 9 made it to the finish line. Leading the way was Kenyan driver Barian Menfir, who won the race with his Skoda Fabia R5.
We enjoyed the roads, very different to what we normally race on. The altitude, the power on the cars, it's completely different. But overall, it was a good experience.
In second place was Rwanda's David Kansario in a Subaru Impreza, while Burundi's Valeri Bukera came in third.
And that's how they do a balloon festival in Belgium. Right now, I'm going to go off and do some exploring, but we'll be back with Trendz Travel right after the break. Welcome back, Trenders. Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly am a lover of pap. Now, we can take you all the way to Nigeria, where a Nigerian entrepreneur is turning this traditional meal into a commodity. Thereafter, we take you to Brooklyn, New York City, where bugs are on the menu.
A factory worker checks the tenderness of maize that has been soaked to be ground into one of Nigeria's most popular breakfasts. This local pap is known as akamu or ogi and is prepared and sold as a sour paste. At Bube's Food, Nigerian pap, a traditional meal consumed since maize was introduced to the continent hundreds of years ago, will be packaged in airtight containers for sale. Ijeoma Ndukwe, a busy mother of 3, said she started Bube's Foods to cut out the hassle of soaking and milling the maize at home, a process that can take days to achieve the desired taste and consistency.
I thought about it, that there were several mothers like me who wanted to give their kids this staple, this traditional meal that we all grew up taking, but you know, there were busy moms working to support the family and didn't have exactly the time to process the meal for their children. I figured that I could be a bridge between the meal and the mothers, thereby providing convenience and hygiene for the staple meal called pap.
Traditionally, grains are washed and soaked for at least 3 days before being put through a conventional blending machine. It is a process that people are growing increasingly concerned about. Some say it is unhygienic due to the machine's exposure to dust and the use of dirty water and materials. Pap can be made from millet, maize or sorghum and is best enjoyed with a bean cake called akara. Ndukwe has turned this ordinary cereal, which she started selling out of her car to friends for less than $1 in 2012, into a booming business with over 80 vendors across Nigeria. A tub of Bube's pap now sells for $2.50. Kingsley OHEAZU says the staple meal is filling and affordable.
It's about 50 naira, and when you take it with a can, maybe 50 naira to 170 naira, you are done for the day. You can go and sleep and give you enough energy.
Ndugwe is also working on a dry option for export as she tests the market among Nigeria's large diaspora population looking for a taste of home. The product's packaging seems to be in its unique selling point.
So we are exporting, but not in large scale to even meet the demand of this product from outside of the country. But we're exporting to the US and to the UK, and then people come with the product by themselves to places like Canada, Cyprus, South Africa, Germany, and to many other places as well.
While BUB has been sold in open-air markets in light plastic bags for years, unless it is consumed or refrigerated within 3 days, it can go bad.
I saw it, it's well packaged, so I consider my family would prefer it to the local one, which is usually sold in open.
But BUB has been fed to babies and grown-ups in Nigeria for generations, and as a matter of flavor and texture, nothing beats the traditional way of doing things. Lagos-based teacher Ayoliwa Adebimbe agrees.
The one made locally actually has a sour taste, and that is the beauty of the pap. That's what makes it delicious, especially if it's well prepared without lumps and if it's not watery. So, and the homemade one, the locally made one, you can actually add some spice.
The Nigerian government is encouraging local businesses to create wealth and boost employment.
Insects are on the menu this weekend at Brooklyn Bugs in New York City. The Brooklyn Bugs Food Expo is first of its kind venture to bring together bug farmers, chefs and food products made with insects. It also aims to entice the people to try food made from bugs. Crickets, worms and grasshoppers and about 200 more bugs varieties are all edible and are packed with proteins and other nutrients according to organizers. The 3-day Brooklyn Bugs event features food tastings, drink pairings and entertainment, all with the hearty insect in mind.
Whole roasted crickets, also from Entamo Farms. And then there's a variety of pickled vegetables that appear to be...
Yoon said farming and harvesting insects requires far less resources than for farming livestock.
Brooklyn Bugs is a celebration of edible insects, and it's an opportunity to shine a spotlight on the leaders of the world of entomology and also to try to help change the perception amongst Americans of what it is to eat insects and bring more awareness both on a nutritional standpoint, a sustainable standpoint, but also on a cultural standpoint.
On the lunch menu, cricket daikon scallion cake, vegetable patty with cricket powder and tempura, fried adobo, chapulines.
It's not just a creepy, crawly, disgusting bug on the floor, but something that is farmed and harvested, and something that actually can be plated beautifully by chefs and is nutritious and delicious.
Kitty, also from Vermont, described the cricket taste as nutty and salty.
I think that there's almost like a misnomer or misinterpretation that when you eat insects, you eat them whole. But you think about steak, filet mignon, we don't say, oh, I want to eat a cow, right? Same thing goes with crickets and other insects where it's we have cricket powder, which allows you to make different sort of products with it, like cricket granola, cricket baking with cricket flour, and there are lots of diverse ways to utilize it that I think will really kind of allow for chefs and people to be able to accept it more as a part of their diet.
Bug chef David George Gordon who was attending the event from Seattle, literally wrote the book on preparing edible insects when in 1998 he published the Eat a Bug cookbook.
I really like this. I'm not sure what this is with the small crickets in it. It was so delicious. I started saving this piece because it was the best. But yeah, everything was really good. And also I thought the chapulines, like the grasshoppers, had a really like distinct taste from the crickets, which I thought was like really pleasant and like nice.
I feel like I've always initially seen it as kind of nutty, but it seems like they've salted it in a way where it brings out the flavor. It's more salty to me. Yeah, I would say just a nuttier flavor to me. It's good. I really like it.
The food bug has beaten many and the edible food market is booming. Insects are already being used to make items such as protein powder, pasta and snack foods. Some stores in the US have begun selling products made with insects, and few restaurants in New York have edible insects offering on the menu.
I think a lot of it is the rise of foodie culture, that people are into, wow, try these grasshoppers, they're really good, or whatever. There's a lot more acceptance of unusual foods. Well, first of all, I should say, we eat with our eyes. You know, that's a Martha Stewartism. So some things might not necessarily be appealing to us. A big caterpillar, for example. But things like, I like people having trying crickets. Crickets are really great. They even look kind of cute. They look like food for some reason to our brains.
The global market for edible insects is $33 million in 2015, according to the Global Market Insights, and is expected to grow 40% by 2023.
And that's all we have here on today's edition of Trendz Travel. We do hope that you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same place.